Yes, but he sorted us. He crossed over.
Say, you don't feel that vibe.
And I know you feel the vibe.
Feel that vibe. Oh. Can we dance?
Joy 99.7 FM.
Give them. Yes, sir.
FM. Yes, I'm back by nature. Name is still Nortey. Not Nortey.
Everybody now go down low.
Go down low.
Go down low. Yes, word.
Joy 99.7 FM.
That's right, brand new year. We aim to keep you in tip-top shape.
Dance. Let me see you dance.
Alrighty, righty. Welcome back, huh?
Are you ready?
A group called Fra Mix.
Listen.
Oh, great to be back. Great to be back. So yeah, 14th of January. I'm sure you laid down some resolutions, huh?
You know it's another OPK class.
You are what you eat. So if I'm doing health since 2003, most definitely I'll talk about what you eat. In the studio with me, Wise Lecha, author, head of dietetics at the Trust Hospitals. And we're going to be looking at your dietary discipline. Tips and directions for 2024. What do Ghanaians typically eat? Wise will tell me. Okay, we talk about diet and all that, but what do we typically eat? Is it good for us? Are there things we should be reducing, eliminating? All this talk about water. How much water should we be drinking? Fruits and veg. I've got the man in the chair in the studio, and I know he feels the vibe. If you have any questions, concerns, confessions, WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. This is Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7. Wise, Happy New Year.
Happy returns.
Charlie, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while, and we've been trying to be good, to be disciplined, especially with regards to our diets. But we need you. We need you to set us on track, to reset the compass, the dietary compass. So let me start by asking, Charlie, as a dietitian, and where you sit and the work you do and the things you write about, what do Ghanaians typically eat? I know we've gone crazy over the festive period, but what do we typically eat? Is there a Ghanaian diet? What do you see?
Yeah, we eat and we love our food.
Okay.
Right. And also we are confused about what is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's our approach answering the question.
All right.
What do we typically eat?
Okay.
I mean, we eat our fufu, we eat our banku, yam, rice.
Okay.
We take our porridges. We take tea, the cocoa beverages. We take drinks, both sweet and sour, and alcoholic and all that. So the Ghanaians enjoy their food. I mean, when you look around, people are actually now posting what they eat a lot more on Facebook for fun. Okay. So when you scroll through and you are even hungry, you can have your appetite worried if you are not careful. So I see all these things.
Is there anything or any particular trend preference that you are concerned about? Anything that you want to give a thumbs up to before we get into the dietary discipline for 2024? Are we eating right?
What I will give a thumbs up to is that the numbers of people who are showing interest in eating right keeps increasing.
Interest.
Yes. So that is what I see as a good thing, a positive that we can build on. But then as to whether when the interest arises, the question arises or the need arises for people to eat well. Whether they end up eating well or not is another story. They don't end up, a lot of them don't end up eating well, because when you pick up like history from patients or people who need to see you, I've had a referral maybe some time ago, or they've had a need some time ago, and they know that they have to do something about what they are eating. Now they come and tell you what they have decided to do or what they have heard somewhere and they are doing. You realize that no, we have to do more of this education.
Let me just rehash that. So you get referrals, you take history, and from the history taking of the patients or clients in front of you, you get the sense that, okay, something has been detected and dietary discipline of sorts has been advised or indicated. But you find out that they didn't seriously or strictly follow it.
So, first of all, they wouldn't go to the right source for what has to be done. So they start, for example, let me use the most common challenge that we face, or the conditions, some of the most common conditions that I see a patient or somebody who has been diagnosed of having diabetes. Some time ago, they didn't pass through, they didn't come for diet advice promptly. But then the time that the diagnosis was made, they saw the need to start doing something about how they eat. So this person decides not to take sugar, because in the consulting room that will come up, avoid sugar. But the person has gone to buy a gallon of honey to replace their sugar, because they've not sought proper counsel to know that honey will increase the blood sugar just as the table sugar does. Right. So those are some of the things. And or the people may decide that I'm just going to eat once a day henceforth, so that I can be able to deal with my weight issues. Right. And in doing so, the time that they eat is not even considered. So that person's one meal a day can be what they eat when they get back home at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Or even if they ate that one meal a day earlier, they don't count the smaller things that they have to take later in the day, because hunger,
what they call
snacks and drinks and all that. Meanwhile, all these things also carry or contain calories, have energy value. So the wrong stuff is going out there. People are eating vegetables, but they are lacing these vegetables with a lot of the things that we add. And a lot of those stuff contain bad fats. They contain a lot of salt or sodium. They are not good for to maintain good blood pressure and all that.
Great stuff. 2:15 on Joy 99.7 FM, 14th of January 2024. We're trying to lay down some dietary discipline and directions and tips with Wise Lecha. He's an author and head of dietetics at the Trust Hospitals. He's got several books out. Be Your Own Dietitian, Eating to Prevent and Manage Lifestyle Diseases, Live Long by Eating Well. And all of these are available. I'll give you the sites. He even has an online trace as well, so that you can get the books yourself. But listen to us. We're going to try and lay down these steps in dietary discipline. All right. So how do we start to discipline our diet? We eat when we feel hungry, and sometimes we eat when we don't feel hungry. What are the basic fundamentals to consider? And then we'll get into the details. Good.
Yeah, so, before I even go to that, there's the need for us to dissociate ourselves from all the the ills or the wrong things that we've eaten during the holiday season.
Okay.
So at the beginning of the year, one of the best ways to get back on track is to try and leave behind some of the excesses of the Christmas and the New Year holidays, the Yuletide. You know, people really chilled. They enjoyed themselves. So we have to let go of all of that,
Okay.
or start to let go.
Get back on track. Let go.
Otherwise, if you
Of
don't,
the indulgence.
of course, if you don't do that, that rather becomes a period whereby you learn bad habits that you carry along through the whole year.
Okay.
Right. Now, there should be a reason why you would want to eat well.
Okay.
And we all know it's for good health. And there's nothing there's nothing more important than fighting for good health, or to try to be well. That should be the main reason
Primary
why.
motivation.
The primary
Good health.
good health.
Well-being.
Because the food we eat, at the end of the day, excess stuff gets stored somewhere that they shouldn't be. They increase certain things. They end up causing diseases,
Okay.
or making it possible for some diseases to happen.
Okay.
So the primary reason why anybody should want to control or manage their eating well is health.
So any other
Right.
reason, maybe I want to look good and all these things, are secondary.
It should be secondary. Secondary.
All right.
Now, you see, what is good for you, you should go for it. Right? The old people say in a proverb that important things are cooked in important pots. So what is good for you? If you don't know and you do the wrong thing, you can be excused, even though ignorance of the law is no excuse. But then in this case, if you don't know and you are doing the wrong things, okay, it's acceptable. But you that knows that this is not good,
Right.
and if I do it, it will hurt me, should not be found victim
Okay.
to
So
that
don't
situation.
do the things that harm you. Things
Right.
that don't promote your health and well-being.
Yes.
Avoid them.
Avoid them.
And there's ample information out there for everybody. Okay. What I want to get from you, Wise, is that are you suggesting that the average Ghanaian is ignorant of what's good, what's not so good when it comes to diet?
Yes.
The average
So-
Ghanaian is ignorant.
Exactly so.
Okay.
The right information is not common.
Okay.
Yes, and then the if people easily find therapies or solutions at the wrong places.
Okay.
They belong to fitness groups that are being run by non-professionals, but they are enthusiasts.
Okay.
They are very enthusiastic about health, so they end up putting them on diet. Then even everybody who joins the group wants to eat according to what they are saying, instead of them seeking a nutrition therapy or a nutritionist or a dietitian
Okay.
therapy.
Can you just hit that straight off? Are you saying we should all see dietitians, nutritionists?
This is actually the best time to come and talk to dietitians or nutritionists.
Okay.
So that you can start off the year on a right track.
Okay.
Right. So let me just drop this for the youth. What happens these days? And I was actually having a discussion with Abeku before the start of the program on this. Alcohol. Right? Young people want to drink alcohol before they eat. The older folks, our grandfathers and fathers used to call that taking appetite.
Right.
And it's a wrong thing to do. Right? Now, why am I passionate about this? We are seeing a lot of young people with liver problems, with kidney problems, with hypertension and all this at very young ages. And there are people in their 20s, in their 30s, which didn't used to be the case. The abuse of alcohol is one of the reasons.
Okay.
Right? Now, so these guys have to be told, or if they are hearing us, the alcohol, drop the bottles. What breaks my heart a lot of the time is when they are drinking and they are posting photos and all that, videos on Facebook. That is where we live our lives
So we're
nowadays,
modeling
right?
and sharing the wrong things.
Wrongly. So those media, the print media, the videos and all that, what you see gets printed in your subconscious faster than what you even hear, right? So the videos really bear messages.
Okay.
So you do the wrong thing and we spread such, and those are the kind of things that people want to watch, even on the TikTok and all that.
Okay.
Right.
Right. These warnings and cautions are well taken. If you just joined us, 22 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7. We're trying to lay down some key cardinal steps with regard to dietary discipline, controlling, managing what you eat, with the primary incentive being your health and your well-being. You're listening to me, Nortey by nature. I'm in the studio with Wise Lecha. He's a dietitian, head of dietetics at the Trust Hospitals. If you have any questions, concerns, WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, and shortly I will activate those phone lines. Hello, greetings, Mr. Nortey and Ultimate Health team. Please thank God you are a member. You are a member of the Atmosphere of Victory team, okay? Probably has to do with the song I played there. The man feels the vibe. Good afternoon, Ninote. Happy New Year. Or where is it? Okay. This is from Oye Inafenya, right? And she welcomes me as usual to her home. And I know Oye likes to jam. Oye, Happy New Year. This one says... Okay, this is an earlier message. All right, great stuff. If you have any questions on your diet, what you've been eating, what you should be eating to discipline yourself, share them with us. WhatsApp 055 11 11 997. Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM. We have a dietitian in the studio, Wise Lecha. He has several publications and books out, so we'll talk about those in a sec. But we want to lay down some of these steps. So you should know what is good for you. You should know what is not good for you. Should you have a plan? Smart goal setting, right? Is it part of dietary discipline? Should there be a plan?
Definitely, yes.
Assuming you are seeing the right person.
Yes.
Should there be a plan?
Yes. So if you don't plan, means that you have planned to fail. So the healthy foods will not fall to anybody like manna did to the Israelites in the wilderness, right? So we have to plan.
Okay.
And the plan for eating well should be centered around the times that we eat.
Okay.
So as part of the plans, we have the traditional way of eating whereby we eat morning, afternoon, evening.
Okay.
The timing of these things as part of the plan, write the right times.
Okay.
Right. So breakfast should be going in anytime around or before 8. Lunch should be around midday.
Okay.
And then supper should be around 6:30 p.m. Right. And this should be part of the plan.
Okay.
So now if you have
Let me just
you
ask
shop
quickly why. So we should each eat 3 times a day, and you're specifying the time ranges, right? Approximately. Yeah. Okay. Some people say we do things which we're not designed to do naturally. Is the human being, the human body, does it require meals at these intervals? Just answer that straight and then we move on.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Yes. When we eat,
or are these man-made,
no,
decisions?
where the food you put in within 6 hours, energy levels go down. The body breaks the food down, assimilation takes place.
Okay.
So there's usually the need for that energy intake, or the need to give some more fresh lease of energy to the body around 5 to 6 hours after eating.
Okay.
So then the overnight one even elongates the whole process.
Right.
That is why breakfast is so important, because you don't eat lunch at midnight.
Okay.
So that makes it longer. People sleep for 8 hours, or the duration between the morning and the last meal for the previous day could even be 10 hours or more. So there's the need to replenish. If you don't do that, the body is perfect. It's the most perfect machine that humans can ever see or have. Is the human body. Okay. So if you don't have the energy or you don't put it in there, there's a way that the system itself tries to compensate or make up for what you don't have. If your brain begins to tell your liver that I need my glucose for energy, because the brain cells, the energy they use, the only molecules that can energize the brain cells is glucose, right?
Right.
So if it doesn't have, it sends that message. The body has to fend for it.
Okay.
Make the glucose through, the reverse conversion of fat and all that,
All right.
gluconeogenesis and all those things.
Okay.
And some of these processes leave effects that can be hurtful for us, right? So it's cheaper and better for the body if you just put the right food in at the right time.
Right food at the right time.
Let me fast forward to the night. If you eat your supper, say at 9 or 10 p.m., and then around 11 or 9 and around 10 p.m. you go to bed, you are behaving like someone who puts fuel in a vehicle and doesn't drive it.
Okay.
Or you put you put batteries in a torchlight that will never be switched on.
Okay. Excess
But-
capacity.
Then what happens after that? But the body actually grows the energy you put in it.
Okay.
So the food you put in the body will not remain like the fuel remains in the tank or the battery remains in the torchlight. This one gets converted into other stuff. If you are not burning it, turns into fat.
Right.
So, for example, one of the fastest ways to grow a pot belly, for those who are interested in developing pot belly, is to be eaten in the night, because that night food doesn't get used up, and then it's stored around the viscera, the intestine area,
Okay.
right, as fat, which is a bad thing.
So
Right.
are you suggesting when you say eating in the night? I know I have my stubborn academy people. They'll be showing up on WhatsApp. Abiku is smiling. But when you say eating in the night, you suggested to us supper. And many people, the label or the name varies, dinner, supper, and all that. But you suggested it should be around 6
Yeah.
p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
So-
So when you say eating in the night as a bad thing, is there a threshold beyond which we shouldn't be eating
Yeah.
in
So
the evening, or is there a threshold beyond which we shouldn't be taking our last meal, if
Yep.
we even call it a meal?
So let's set that at 7 p.m. As per recommendations, because when the sun even goes down, our ability to break down food slows down as well.
Okay.
Because these processes are sped up by heat. So the hotter the environment, the faster you are even going to be able to burn your food.
Okay.
So if the sun goes down, that natural ability is
It
lowered.
slows it
It
down.
slows down. So we have slower metabolism or metabolic rates
Okay.
in the night. If you eat after 7 p.m., and I see this a lot, trying to link the times that people eat with their lab results, basically. If we deal with the time, bring the supper or dinner to any times around 6 p.m., 6:30, continuously, people end up giving us better outcomes for their sugar,
Right.
their cholesterol, and other things,
Okay.
right? So it's just the right thing to do.
Okay.
Now, there's a deception somewhere, or a way that we deceive ourselves. When it's around 6, 7 p.m.,
Self-deception.
we feel like it's like we are not hungry. So no food. So the person has convinces himself or herself that I'm not going to eat this evening because I'm not hungry.
Right.
You move on a bit into the evening or into the night, around 8, 9, hunger sets in. And because your last meal was at midday or around midday, when it's 8 p.m., you're hungry. That's a hunger that you cannot sleep if you don't eat.
Okay.
Then you end up taking something.
Right.
They might go for a beverage and bread or drink or fruit, which are all having energy values. Then it's now too late, and that energy, a lot of people might even think that these are not heavy foods, but the how
You're
bad
talking about the caloric value.
yes, so how bad something is it doesn't really matter whether we see it as a heavy meal or not.
Okay.
It's about what it contains,
Okay.
or how much calories the food contains.
Okay.
Right?
Eat the right things at the right time. We haven't gotten to the things yet, but we're looking at the time and relationships between that and your dietary discipline with Wise Lecha of the Trust Hospitals. He's a dietitian and an author. Got several books out there. Live long by eating well. Be your own dietitian. 150 commonly asked questions, diet questions answered. Not just the questions there, but answers are provided. Eating to prevent and manage lifestyle diseases. As you're going to buy illness. Literally, right? We'll be seeking answers to that. But you brought up an important linkage. Let me read this from Dede in Maryland. Happy New Year. Must one have a specific regime time to eat, even though they may not be hungry or you're not hungry at that particular time? Night is relative and within a range, so please be specific. That's what I try to pin Wise down, knowing my listeners. I try to pin him down because people are looking for leeway, wiggle room to misbehave, but we're looking at your best interest here. But great questions from my discerning listeners. This one says, how do I get my pot belly reduced? This is from a Kwesi. Let me see. Kwesi in Sakaman, right? He takes ownership and responsibility for the pot belly, but he wants us to help him reduce it. He doesn't particularly want it to go away. He wants it reduced. Okay. Right, we'll talk about that as well. Wise has explained that if you eat late, you late around in the visceral regions, and it's not good for you. Apart from what it looks like, it's also doing things under the skin. That's the important thing we're laying out here. Share your concerns, your questions, your confessions and experiences, dietary discipline and direction for the year 2024 with us on Ultimate Health. So, what if you're not hungry? Okay, you heard Wise, you heard Nortey, but you're not hungry. You eat when you're hungry, or should that not be the case?
Yeah. So, for good health, you eat when you must eat, right? Not when you are hungry or not. Because if we want to live it that way, people might end up eating maybe just once a day.
Okay.
Because
you must eat when it is required. And you've
so
broken that down the three
exactly.
times.
So our
Right.
first goal is the time. In fact, today, if we can get it right with the timing of our meals,
Okay.
I mean, a great percentage of the job is done, right? So it's better. Sometimes if all the food you have in a day is just a ball of kenke, you're better out dividing that kenke into three and taking a third in the morning, a third in the afternoon,
Why is
a
that
third,
kofa asemaba?
a third in the evening.
Divide the kenke into three.
Right. So I'm talking about food security access. When you also
So basically, you're saying eat less of that kenke.
exactly. So it's better that the meals are smaller but regular.
Smaller portions. Right.
So that you can eat throughout the day. One of the reasons why somebody, people say they are not hungry is because probably the meal before the one in question is too large.
Okay.
Now, when you have such a large meal, you are not going to burn or utilize all that it is giving you or
Right.
delivering into your system.
So you want us to eat in current account mode, not savings account.
Exactly so. So if
We
you
are
want to
eating
save,
more than the body requires.
if
and
you
that in itself is bad. Is that what you're saying?
it's bad.
It's bad.
If you eat more than you need, like they say, too much of everything is bad. It's also right with food. You eat more than the body needs, then the body really wants to sees most components of the food we eat as rewards.
Okay.
So it doesn't want to lose that reward. It's rather going to turn it into a form that it can keep or hold on to. And that is where problems begin.
Okay.
So they say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, right?
Right. Fear the kenke.
Now,
All right.
the beginning of the development of most of the lifestyle-related issues,
Right.
diabetes, obesity, cholesterol, and all these things, it is if you give that chance to your body to be storing excess food.
Okay. Excess should not
Right.
become the norm
Exactly so.
in terms of dietary discipline. You're hearing this on Joy 99.7 FM. The program is Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living. We want to set the year off right, okay? It's the 14th. We've done about 2 weeks, but hey, if you're on the wrong road, it's never too late to turn back. That's why we're doing this, and we will do it. All right. I just said fear the kinky, but really he was talking about portions.
Exactly.
Okay. Don't deviate or derail because of my jokes. Right. He says we should reduce the portions and spread them, apportion them across the time allotments he's earlier clarified for us. Okay. This one says, I'm enjoying your program. I know when the weather is colder, rate of metabolism increases compared to when the weather is warm. How true is that? This is from Mauli.
I mean, if you've been in the science lab before, one of the things that determine that chemical reaction is taking place is heat.
Okay.
So if you hold a test tube or the cylinders, you feel warm,
Okay.
heat. It means that enthalpy, like there's chemical reaction taking place.
Okay.
So then heat is a rate determining step or something like that. So that is just what I'm trying to put across.
So you're agreeing with Mauli?
No.
No? He says
I'm trying to explain why I don't agree with him.
Oh, why you don't agree, right?
with
Okay.
him. So
Let me repeat what he said. If it is colder, he expects the metabolism
to be
rate
faster. It should rather be slower.
should be slower.
The absence of heat will rather lower the metabolism rate, which is
Okay.
also like a chemical reaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okie dokie. Good afternoon, Nortey, and the lovely dietitian. Hey, media, I'm not lovely. All right, I'll take it. Please, how and what do I eat to slow down a heavy palpitation I have started experiencing recently? A palpitation is an awareness of your heart functioning, beating, right? This is from Ni Indakuman. So he's talking about a symptom and he's seeking to regulate or remedy it through
Diet.
what he eats.
Yes.
We have not heard from what he sent, what is causing his palpitation.
No.
All right?
Yeah,
so,
so-
Ni, the first thing is we don't know what is causing your palpitation.
He has to seek.
You've tuned into a program that is
advice.
talking about diet, but you are merging a lot of things. Or what do you
So,
want to say?
so I'll never attempt to make a recommendation to solve this problem. Yeah, it requires proper medical
He needs
screening,
medical evaluation.
to
of his-
determine the cause of the problem.
Okay.
And if we have to also come in with dietary recommendations,
Okay.
we'll do.
All right.
Or if we start telling him you should go and drink this and that, we might cause a bigger problem
Okay.
for him.
All right. So, Ni, please go to a health facility, have your problem, should I say, explained by you and then evaluated by qualified persons. Then you can get a better, well-informed, should I say, response and management of your palpitations. The day in Maryland is back. She says 6 o'clock for the last meal of the day, ? If I'm active after my last meal and hungry, what next? Starve till I go to bed? Is everyone, or she says, or asserts, everyone's metabolism is different. Does that imply I must go to bed between 8 to 9? What about graveyard workers? They. Right, but very good questions.
Yeah,
Right?
this is loaded.
So if you say I should eat my last meal at 6,
Yeah.
but she says, what if she's active? She doesn't tell us what she's doing, right? But yeah, she's bent what she's eating at 6.
Yeah.
And,
So I sympathize with other people.
Yeah, why? Just a second. Let me activate the phone lines because I'm
Okay.
sure many will want to get a piece of this meal. 0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM. Our topic is dietary discipline and directions for 2024. Right? If you want to share on WhatsApp, 055 11 11 997. So yes, go ahead, Wise.
Yeah, so I want to actually sympathize with others who might have these similar
Okay.
sentiments as expressed by Dede in her.
They are active after the
her,
6.
Yeah, plenty questions,
Yes.
but there's a simple solution. You can always eat even after the times that I was suggesting.
Okay.
But then don't take things that have so much energy,
Okay.
because the fact still remains that I have
Again,
worked.
Wise, just
I
help
have-
us. Just help us. Slow down.
okay.
When you say things that are packed with so much energy, you are
Yes,
talking
example.
about the calorie.
Exactly. So
Intake.
I can give you examples as
Right.
well.
No, I just want you
Yeah.
to explain. So when you talk of the energy, the calories in the food.
The amount of calories. So
Right.
the calories is the unit of measurement
Okay.
for energy, right? So you can still put food in there if you have to stay late. But then you take in things like light soup, a cup of tea without bread, or you eat salads, maybe with a little protein like a boiled egg or something, which will
Did you
end.
just mention light soup?
Yes, with
Okay.
fish
Okay.
and
I
stuff like
listened to
that.
the former French ambassador to Ghana, and she suggested that there's nothing light about our light soup. Right, so be careful when you say that. She loves our food, and she was talking to somebody, and she said, "There's nothing light about your light soup."
Okay,
So-
I don't know what
Is the name
I don't know.
deceptive?
I don't know how she's the basis of her opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, but then light soup, I mean, is predominantly water.
Okay. Should be.
And then we usually don't use oil in cooking it.
Mm.
Sometimes some of the proteins are fatty, which
Okay.
may drop some oil in there,
Okay.
which will make me.
With your
agree.
permission, let me just take this caller
Agree
who's been
with
on the
her.
line for a bit. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello,
Hi, good afternoon. Who am I speaking to?
this is Momili from La Paz.
Mamile from La Paz.
Yeah,
Okay, please go ahead, Mamile. You're welcome.
yeah, please. I'm interested in the last meal at 6, and if you are still active, what do you do? Maybe you're a student at the university, and you are still studying, doing all that. You go for prep, how do you call it? Studies. You come home around 11, 12. Can you eat something?
Okay, right. So after 6 people, Charlie,
There are lots.
there are a lot, right? So this 6 as a marker has been understood, but now they want to apply it.
Yeah.
She's talking about students, you've eaten, you have prep, and there's stuff to do.
Yeah, so I think we've dealt with that in my last response.
You can eat afterwards, but make
but
sure.
that's where where the food is light, low calorie or not as usual, having a lot of starch and plenty
Right. Any
oil
suggestions? Any
in there.
suggestions?
So those are the examples I gave. The like the soup,
Soup?
cup of tea with some milk but no bread, and also salads.
Okay.
Anything else, whether you're a student, I have experience with, night shift workers in the clinic,
99.7
and
FM.
so all these situations are not new. Now people still eat in the night even though they are working, but then they come down with a lot of these health complications. Right, so the energy value of what you eat in the night really
Okay.
determines a whole lot.
Right.
So it's not just about how you feel, or it shouldn't just be about how you feel or the situation you find yourself. You know, we can justify situations to suit us if
Right.
it works
So-
perfect. We think that's the right thing, but then
Okay.
we must go by some
So,
of these standards.
as
yeah.
a dietitian, what you're telling us is that maybe in terms of language or name or label, you call it your last meal, and anything after that you consider a lighter,
Like
right,
low
a
calorie.
minor meal. But you, as a dietitian, are looking at what it gives the body,
Exactly.
right? And
Exactly.
you want that also to be light.
Considered,
Right.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. 44 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. Let the questions flow in. Phone line is active 0302216541. WhatsApp is 055 11 997. I have a caller on the line. Hello.
Nortey,
Hi. Who am I speaking to?
good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
This is Samuel. I'm calling from the Volta area.
Samuel from the Volta region.
Yes.
Okay. Share with us, Samuel.
I want to hold a special program on the type of food we eat today. Today we are not eating food, we are eating toxins. So, but we have been in Dome and somewhere Taifa over some period. This Indomie stuff, sorry I'm mentioning it, this high refined sugar and carbohydrate are eaten in the night. And unfortunately, you see them eating it with very fatty ingredients and with energy drinks or these fizzy drinks attached late in the night.
Right.
What are we doing to ourselves? Can he address that for us?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So our last caller puts forward that we are not eating food, we are eating toxins. And he's looking at the trend of some of these noodles of different brand names, though he specified one because it's easier.
Yeah.
Right. It's like saying all newspapers are graphic. But he says highly refined sugars, starches,
Valid points. Yeah.
eaten alongside a lot of fatty and other stuffs and fizzy drinks
Drinks and
and in
energy
quotes
drinks.
energy drinks. So he's put that before the court here on Ultimate Health. Wise,
Yeah.
is there wisdom in what he's saying?
I think if I'm to give marks, I'll say that's the question that was scored the highest mark for the day. And
99.7
so
FM.
what's the name of the caller?
He said he was in the Volta region. So,
Yeah,
but
so
I lost the name. Yeah.
I want to greet him,
All right.
wish him Happy New Year,
Okay.
and thank him for putting that across, right?
Is it a trend you are
it's-
worried about and you can confirm?
Yes, we see that a lot. I mean, and the people who end up with better medical outcomes are people that we have advised to stop doing things like that.
So fast
So
food,
it's
fast
bad.
trouble.
It's bad. The time that people eat this kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I told you from the beginning that if we can really even educate people and get it down for this year,
Let's get the time right.
let's get the time right and what kind of things we a great percentage of the problems will be solved,
Okay.
right? So he's made very, very good points. Those stuff are
So all
refined.
the things they add to it and some vegetables, some stir fry, something, egg and things. Are you saying they're all trouble?
They are trouble, and I like the way he put
Are
it.
they not enhancing the thing?
Yes, for the taste buds.
For the
Yeah,
taste buds.
But
For the
beyond that, a spelling doom for the body,
Okay.
right? So we have to really. I think the solution is education.
Timing is wrong. The content is
The
wrong.
type of food. So if we fast forward, we rewind a bit, in addressing the question from the lady,
Dede. Yeah.
Dede, the type of food that you eat after the 6 or 7
Right.
really matters. So
Okay.
this just falls in line.
So that
Right.
packaged, open pack and now open then.
The way they do it,
That pack,
they make it rich and
is a whole meal.
it's bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not healthy.
Right. I have a caller on the line. Hello,
Yeah, Nortey, I'm back. Samuel back on the line.
Samuel, the one from the Volta region.
Yes,
Okay.
Samuel.
Yeah.
From
Go-
Lanupenu. I'm actually a
Kobla-
public health officer in control.
No,
And
slow down for me. Komla dogbenu.
Lanupenu.
Kobna nupenu. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
I would like to have his contact. I'll be coming to Accra. I'm currently taking a cohort of such people, right? I'm following a 5-year training so that I can understand certain things that I'm seeing every day.
Okay.
Okay. So I would like to have his contact.
You are following. I'm interested in this. So you're actually doing some study, some research,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you are following a cohort of people,
Yes.
evidencing or manifesting this lifestyle you're talking about,
Yes, please.
right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Is this a personal thing? Is it for research or academic purposes?
It's a personal thing I'm doing currently,
Okay.
but then I think I will roll it up for a better study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Give your number to my producer Abeku. We could see how we could do this. I'll be interested in your methodology and how you got the cohort and whether they are cooperating.
The outcomes.
Yeah. And not falsifying information.
Sure.
All right. Great stuff. Great stuff. Thanks for sharing. And he wants Wise's number as well. So you can get him online as well. Let's consult.
Okay.
Let is LETS.
Okay.
And then consult at gmail.com. Okay.
Okay.
And his
Sure.
books are also on Lecha. I'm saying Lecha. LechaBooks.com. Right. But he'll get in touch. Great
Yeah.
stuff. I like the initiative. I like the initiative.
Yeah.
Great
so
stuff.
so be interested in the outcomes.
All right.
and-
Another caller? Nope. Okay. Like this one said, good afternoon, Nortey and Doc. What diet do I eat for high cholesterol? Okay. It's a packaged confession, right? Do you want to say something about that whilst we get back on track? High cholesterol.
Yeah, so I think that's a discussion for
Another
a
program.
big discussion, but then I'll advise the person to seek medical attention
Okay.
and then get a personal dietitian to plan a diet. It's a whole plan that you have to.
Okay.
I can give tips like avoid fatty meat, take out fried stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This late night eating we are talking about
Okay.
include a lot of vegetables like
99.7
contomere,
Okay.
salad leaves and all that in your meals. Avoid salad cream
Okay.
and all that.
All right.
It all helps, but then you need a personalized plan
Okay.
to deal with such conditions.
Right. Let me just quickly ask before I seek your permission to read. I got quite a backlog of messages. But when you suggest in one of your books that 150 commonly asked diet questions
Yeah.
answered, would these be some of the things that come up?
About 9 out of 10 of these questions are in
all
that book.
Okay.
Because we pick the questions from studies.
Studies done. Okay.
Yes.
Right, let me
so-
quickly read this. This one says, when the weather is cool, this is Maoli, when the weather is cold, that the body must generate more heat to compensate the heat loss. Hence, the rate of metabolism should increase or increases compared to when the weather is warm. This is what I mean. Am I right?
Yes, but that doesn't affect your metabolic rate.
Okay. All right. Okie dokie. Hi, Nortey and your guests. Where are you? I want to understand why these dietitians advise people to eat light meals in the morning, and this encourages them to eat heavy meals and go to sleep. Is this dietary plan the best? Because he said metabolism is slower when the body is cool. So it means that there is poor digestion, which is a major cause of diseases. I want to know what cry is this thing with brown sugar, which all I can see is color. Mike in Adenta packages that for your consumption.
Yeah.
So he's asking light meals in the morning, and then people
Yeah.
overdo-
So what we call light, like the ambassador had some analysis to do on a light soup.
Yeah.
Might be the name can be deceptive. I want to agree with that, right? So it's something that you may call light can give more calories than something that somebody else will eat and it's heavy. And it also depends on the quantities of these things that we are consuming. So let's stick to the right time. Let's stick to the right portions. When we do our analysis, we are able to advise on portions and all that.
Right.
So that whether it is fufu or banku or yam or rice and
We
all
get it
that,
right.
we get it right. The portions, if it's small enough,
Okay.
right? And in general, on a platform like this, what our advice is that we scale down. If 2 balls of kenke is what your usual capacity, start doing something even before you see people like us. Start reducing the 2 balls to maybe 1.5 or 1 ball, right? So that's a way of reducing how much energy you put in the system.
Right. Dede says just tea milk is just water. How can that satisfy hunger?
Yeah.
Past 6.
So this one, for example, we can't solve it here. She's getting very personal, and I'll leave it at the recommendations for what is
I'll
what
hook
is
you up
good.
with Dede. She'll sort you out. She go sort you. Good afternoon, Nortey. Please, do eggs increase bad cholesterol? This is from Komla, East Legon.
Answer is yes and no. Previously, we thought that when you eat egg with the yolk will increase your cholesterol, but that is not the case. But then, if you fry your eggs, if you eat plenty, and the body stores the fat in it, indirectly, it can end up contributing to processes that will increase your cholesterol, right? But then, just the mere intake of, let's say, 1 boiled egg is not with the yolk.
Right.
It's not a good reason enough for your cholesterol to go up.
Okay. Nin Dakuman comes back again and says, please, how much better is honey than the white sugar?
It's not any better. They are all at the same level. So if you eat or use any of them, don't fetch plenty.
Okay. Again, portions. Good afternoon, Nortey. Please, as part of the plans to reduce my weight, can I replace white sugar with honey? Does it really bring along a change with regards to calories? This is from Fidel.
Not necessarily, like I just said. So it's all about the quantities that you are taking.
Okay.
And you can actually do without them. Sugar, if you avoid sugar, you get it from the bread, from the rice and all that. So the body doesn't get into a situation where it's sugar deficient.
Okay.
Right. So, and it's better if you can't deal with small portions like 2 cubes, 3 cubes at a time, a teaspoon, 2 at a time. You're better off not taking it.
Okay.
If you must have the food sugar sweet, so sweet, that is very bad.
Okay. Right. Hello, Nortey. May I know from your guest if it is advisable to stop consuming animal products completely for health reasons, meat specifically? Kwabia in ho.
Is it kwabla?
Oh, Kobla.
from home.
All right. I
Yeah.
saw Kwabia.
You
Kobla, sorry.
you don't have to necessarily avoid animal products to be healthy, but then you should eat them well. So they come with animal fats, which are the health risk or the risky aspects. So if you're able to reduce those, remove those fats, like let's say pork, you peel off the fat and eat the muscular parts, or chicken, you peel off the skin and have the proper muscle, the lean part,
Right.
you are fine. But then there are health conditions. We get to a point in managing certain conditions where maybe we will have to stop animal product, but that is not like in general for every condition.
Okay. Jijo in Dodua wants to know, is it good to drink chilled water when the sun is hot or scorching?
There's nothing wrong with that, because what we feel as chilled in the mouth, by the time it reaches the stomach, there'll be energy exchange, heat exchange, the temperature is brought up.
Okay.
Homeostasis, the body tries to maintain normal internal environment. So what is too cold will be brought up to a certain temperature. What is too hot will be lowered to a certain temperature. So you can enjoy that feel of chilled water when the weather is hot. It's
Okay.
good. It's a good feeling.
All right. Okay.
And it will not hurt your health.
Okay, whether you're in Dodua or Dorchester, right? He's mentioned contomere. Isn't that overcooked typically? So what is its nutritional value? They did in Maryland.
Yeah, there's still a lot to gain from contomere. Even if overcooked, you get your fiber, which is something that can really, really help us. So we shouldn't worry about that.
Dates syrup, is it a good substitute for sugar? Hey, my listeners, you deform. I they feel the vibe.
It's as good as sugar.
Uh-huh.
So you want to use it in moderation, fine, but it's not like.
Is it available? I know of dates, but date syrup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of these things are
guys
there
are
now.
resourced,
People
eh?
can source them.
Date syrup. Ghanaians.
But then don't think that you take it and then you are free from sugar. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. We're almost out of time. Wise. It looks like we've succeeded in doing knocking. Ghanaians, our listeners, are interested in this dietary discipline, but we have to structure it and then break down the steps, which might mean having you next week. I want us to be able to get very, very practical so that people can integrate it and sustain their implementation or execution of it.
Yeah.
Very often they tell us, they give us a printed diet and they think that is it. We don't get it. Otherwise, we would have done that online.
Yeah.
So we'll probably need to break down the things that we need to reduce, if not eliminate.
Yeah.
Today we've crunched and should I say
The timing. Yeah.
portions, quantity is important.
Yeah.
Okay. And
But Nortey, I want
Yeah.
to. You made a comment
Yeah.
about. People saying they giving them a printed diet.
yeah.
Whatever printed information you have been given, do you practice it? That is the question. So this year, I want to advise people that if you see a practitioner and they give you something, it's meant to help you remember all the plenty talk.
Okay.
Put it into practice.
Right.
Don't push it aside and say they've given me a printed diet. No.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
not the right thing to do.
okay, you work on it and then you go back to the practitioner or service provider for feedback and review of your plan and its impact.
That is how
Right.
we can get results.
You don't just go solo and then after your solo effort you blame the diet or the dietitian, right? It's a collaborative process
Yes.
and it needs to be sustained to
Exactly
have should I say significant visible impact on your life and your health status, right? Having said that, I hope you had a good meal. Definitely there are lots of questions and I see we're starting to get all the controversies. Why is brown sugar versus white sugar versus honey? I'm sure
The
the
date syrup.
artificial sweetness will
Will
come
come
in. So we're going to package next week's program and very quickly get into the real do of dietary discipline. For those managing chronic or long-term conditions, this is a very important consideration as well. For those of us who are not afflicted by anything, but we want to maintain and sustain good health, this is also very, very important. Many thanks, Wise, for joining us in the studio. Like I said, let's consult. You can get him there on Facebook. I think I can give out Wise's number. He gives it out all the time anyway. 0244 09 0262.
Yeah. Let me-
0244090262.
Yeah, so let me add there's another number 059 566 7197.
Okay.
059 566 7197.
Okay.
We can get talking about that. And
Okay.
I can be found at Trust Hospital, and we have an extensive coverage for
Alright.
diet clinics and all that. So
Great stuff.
we can take care of you. as
Always
well.
a pleasure, my brother. Very, very, very informative, and thanks for running through. And we'll extend this next week. I hope. Next week I'll ask him, is it expensive to see a dietitian? Will it slim my wallet? We'll find that out next week. Many thanks to my producer, Abeku Sankofi, and of course you, my discerning listeners. Stick and stay. My name is Nortey by nature. I'm out.